Hello and welcome to Levant TV headlines. The head of Europe's border agency, Frontex, said a market in fake Syrian passports has sprung up, particularly in Turkey, to help migrants and refugees enter the EU. Unidentified gunmen on motorbikes have shot dead 2 leaders of the loyalist militia controlling the southern Yemeni port of Aden in separate attacks on Monday. 5 Palestinians and an Israeli border policeman have been wounded in a raid in the occupied West Bank to arrest a Hamas militant. Turkish police staged a major swoop on the Ankara-based offices of a media group critical of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and close to his political nemesis, the US-based Muslim cleric Fethullah Gulen. And German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy urged the European Commission to come up with proposals to help Europe cope with its refugee and migrant crisis, including defining countries of safe origin. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting with the UAE, the Khalij Times leads, reporting that the Daesh group battled Syrian rebel forces in a Damascus neighborhood on Monday, bringing the militants closer than ever to the center of the capital, according to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The paper also reports that Living Arabic, a new program to inspire the love of the language among students, will be introduced in Dubai schools this year. From Lebanon, the Daily Star leads, reporting that at least 24 You Stink campaign protesters have stormed the Environment Ministry building in downtown Beirut, calling for the minister's resignation over the protracted trash crisis. Deputy Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian has arrived in Beirut for talks to help end the 4-year crisis in neighboring Syria. The Egypt Independent leads, reporting that Egypt's historic gas discovery threatens to sink Israel's fielding gas export bonanza, which was counting on deals with Cairo to get it off the ground. The paper also reports that Egypt's Nuclear Power Plants Authority has resumed contacts and negotiations with a number of international companies specialized in the technology of establishing and operating nuclear stations. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Guardian leads its Middle East news, reporting that thousands of Icelanders have called on their government to take in more Syrian refugees, with many offering to accommodate them in their own homes and give them language lessons. Iceland, which has a population of just over 300,000 people, has currently capped the number of refugees it accepts at 50. The Telegraph leads its Middle East news, reporting that Iran and Israel rarely agree on anything, but it appears they are united on their dislike of Daniel Barenboim. The conductor was planning to take a Berlin orchestra to perform in Iran later this year, to the fury of Israel, which demanded Angela Merkel intervene to stop the concert. But it is Iran which has prevented it from taking place, after government officials said Mr. Barenboim would not be allowed into the country because he holds Israeli nationality. The Independent reports that ISIS has shown off its new currency as part of the group's plan for world domination. The militants currently brutalizing parts of Iraq and Syria claim to have produced the gold dinar with smaller denominations of silver dirhams and copper fulus in a newly released propaganda video, and claims that because the gold dinar will be 21 carat, one coin will be equivalent to $139 or 91 pounds and will destroy America's economy. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines in the international papers. The International New York Times reports that after a day of conflicting reports about the extent of damage that Islamic State militants had inflicted on the Temple of Baal in the ancient city of Palmyra, Syria, a United Nations agency said that satellite images confirmed that the structure had largely been destroyed. As local activists and antiquities experts scrambled Monday to assess what had actually happened, all agreed that an explosion at the site on Sunday had damaged the best preserved structure of the temple. And China's Global Times reports that during a meeting with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, King Abdullah of Jordan has pledged his country's continued support to Al-Aqsa Mosque, adding that Jordan will continue to exert all possible efforts and coordinate with the regional and international players and concerned countries to remove obstacles to allow resumption of peace talks between Palestinians and the Israelis. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.